What's up, YouTube? How's it going? Today I'm going to do a little guide, build order guide for House of Lancaster for the Abbey of Kings. I think we're all a little bit tired of the Lancaster Castle and the Demi Lancers, and it would be nice to see more people go in Abbey of Kings. It got a buff in the most recent patch. And honestly, I was using Abbey of Kings last season even, and enjoying it, even if it's not technically better than the castle landmark. It was still strong last season, and it was fun to use. But now I think it's pretty good, and there's a lot of situations where it may it is hard for me to say it's better than Lancaster Castle. I don't really know for sure yet, and I'm not a pro level player, but it's very strong to use the Abbey of Kings, I think, in a lot of situations because just the increase on the health that they give your units is crazy. So I've been using this build order really effectively in most matchups. I will talk about the matchups real quick before I show you guys. But yeah, like the units you make are obviously going to depend on the matchup. Like you really need to go spears first against French, just like anytime you play against French. And spears first against other, cavalry civs. But yeah, the first unit type you're going to make is really dependent on the matchup and what kind of units your opponent's going for. But I think the Abbey works pretty well in most matchups. It's just some matchups you can't quite be as aggressive as others, right? Um, and obviously, some civs are better at dealing with the Words of Lancaster units in Feudal than others. Like Ottomans have Sipahi, and China's got Juganu, and some units just deal better with Feudal men at arms, and obviously Knight Civs deal better with it. But I think it's still worth it to go for the Abbey against Knight Civs because not only are you putting these men at arm units into your spearman mass so that it's harder to pick off with the archers, but you're also buffing the health on all your spears, right? So with House of Lancaster, you only need to go 6 on sheep at the beginning, and then you can start queuing immediately to gold, and you'll have your gold villager build a house on the way out. And if you haven't played much Gorge or you don't know much about the scouting pattern on Gorge, I'll talk about that real quick since we have time. You pretty much always want to run straight towards your opponent's base. And if you run into his scout, like if I were to run into his scout right here and his scout's going this way, then I'm just going to cut right and take this half of the map. But since I didn't run into a scout, I'm just going to stay to this side and take this left side of the map because most of the sheep spawn on the sides here. So this is where you want to be scouting. So you run straight to your opponent's side, take a nice little left or right if you are, on this side, and just work your way down the sides here and get all the sheep. There's not many sheep in the middle. There are some sometimes, but usually there's like just 2 or 3 in the middle, and you get them right. Like I'll get mine right away as I run out, and he'll get his right away as he runs out. So it's not worth exploring the middle. Back to the build order, we're gonna go up to 3 on gold, and then just start sending the new villagers to food. And so this build order is going to be a more aggressive playstyle for sure, instead of the Lancaster castle, you know, camp until Imperial and get the wind guard thing that has been happening in a lot of tournaments, especially in the last patch. This is more of like a way to play Lancaster if you're aggressive. Like me, I like playing aggressive most of the time, so I did miss a sheep here. That's unfortunate. So yeah, if you like being aggressive and you want to try some Lancaster, this is for you. As soon as we can age up, we will with, I'm just going to use, I usually just use 3 workers, I think, to age up. You could do 3 or 4, but just build the Abbey. I don't like where I built it this time, actually. Build it, I would have built it here. Should have built it here. This is just makes the men-at-arm running distance a little bit longer, and also puts the Abbey in a kind of a weird spot for healing. So putting it, a little bit more forward here would have been nice. But, this could work out kind of well, like, if it's near your gold mine or something you're defending. But it's not really, right? So I just don't like the placement of the Abbey here, but it's not that big a deal. So what we're going to do is the first thing we're going to do is try to produce a couple extra dudes of Lancaster. You'll get 1 for free as soon as the landmark finishes. By the way, right now we are once we started building the landmark, you want to go down to 3 or 4 on food. 4 is probably better if you do it right away. If you forget to pull off the food for a second, then you can go down to 3, if that makes sense. Like if you've got a large food bank because you didn't do it immediately. But yeah, 4 is better. We're going to go down to 4 on food, 4 on wood, and then I've got 3 on gold, but once we get enough gold for a couple dudes of Lancaster, we'll go ahead and switch over to the stone here. And we are going to be building the manor to go from 20 population to 30, so you will not build another house. And the timing on this is quite tight. So if you feel uncomfortable with it and you just want to build that house and delay your manor a tiny bit, just go for it. But yeah, you should practice this. Like, I would practice this against AI before, you know, doing it on the ladder, because you really want to get this timing down to where you're not, like, blocking your town center, blocking your villagers from coming out because you don't have the population space. Now, if you don't, you know, I just am a perfectionist, so I like to practice things before I take them to the ladder, but you do you. So we're going to go up to 5 on stone here. That way we can just get that first manor in. Bam, ASAP Rocky. We've already got the wood for it. I've got my Abbey of Kings queued, so just go straight towards the gold and start harassing there. Now in this game, if I had done some better scouting, we would have been going to the stone. But, yeah, not doing the best scouting right now. As I say that, my scout's missing a sheep. That's funny. So the first king's coming out. And we're dropping that first manor right away. Now, the king actually might get blocked for a second, but I think it is what it is. And I'm building this with 5 workers to make sure it finishes on time. You can see town center. Oh, blocked for the tiniest bit of time there. Less than a second, it felt like. So, yeah, I didn't get it perfect this time. It's something. It's quite hard to get perfect. So, like I said, if it stresses you out, just build the house, right? Now we'll go for the lumber camp. Definitely chop all your straggler trees before the lumber camp. If you go for the lumber camp, by the way, before the manor, you will get housed. That's just all there is to it. So yeah, if I had done a little bit of scouting on the stone here, this early men-at-arms would have got more value, but it is what it is. Poor scouting from me, and just not really expecting an early 2TC play. Honestly, it's not happening a lot right now, even though that's like the traditional thing China has done, like in the past. Right now they're mostly going pro scouts, and even if I did like get the dude of Lancaster over here, I don't think I would have stopped this town center coming in. So I maybe could have stopped him from building it though with better scouting. So, and normally I'm on top of these kinds of things too, so this was just a poor scouting game. It's good to see this in the replay though for me. But yeah, behind this we're dropping all 3 manors before we start adding production. Right, so you're just kind of harassing with this a little bit, adding in the 3 manors. Now, if you're once again, if you're playing against French or somebody who's going to attack you really early, you probably need to drop that barracks like right after the first manor and delay your second 2 just a little bit. But in this game, I was playing against a passive China player. I felt like I could just add my manors first. And I am going to go ahead and mine the stone for the next 3 manors and then pull off. So we can add those in slowly throughout Feudal. And yeah, in this game, I did end up scouting over here now and seeing that there is indeed a second town center. So I knew for sure I wanted to be very aggressive. I'm going Spearman first here because honestly, I was still assuming pro scouts, and he hasn't made any units yet. And it worked out because look at that, stable. But I didn't scout this. We're also going to add all the unit types, though. I got an archery range coming in, stable coming in. And right now you can see I've got 14 on wood. You do not want to go higher than that for the feudal aggression. Yeah, 14 is 14 to maybe 15 if you're really heavy on archers. If you're really, really heavy on archers, you maybe would need a few more on wood. But yeah, 14 is really good for adding in your production and whatnot. And we moved the 5 stone villagers back to gold. So we can start getting some economic upgrades as well. Double broadaxe and, you know, wheelbarrow and whatever else. So, yeah, we're going to start constantly producing units now from these buildings. Yeah, I did go double barracks here because spearman, I wanted spearman as the primary unit. He did go horseman first, so. I don't always add hotbars, by the way. Only sometimes. And if you do add hotbars, you are going to need just a tiny bit more gold and food to produce these than you would normally, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just start being real aggressive here. So at this point, he did have enough horsemen to kind of chase these dudes of Lancaster away, but my spears are coming in, and this isn't really pretty micro-wise for me here, but it doesn't matter in the end, you know. He's just been too greedy to keep up with me in troop production. So, it is what it is. Very interesting, too, like, that he adds the TC before song. This is just weird. I don't know that I've seen this very often from China. But we have enough spears to kind of, you know, keep the horsemen at bay now. And if I had been maybe just a tiny bit quicker, I could have done more damage here. But my spears are just a little bit slow moving across the map. Some of them stopped in place in random spots, like here, so unfortunately I wasn't able to do any damage on the Barbican, really, but I did go ahead and start sending some hoblars out this way because, well, at first I was worried he might move out to one of these golds, because I was denying the gold, but then he barbicaned it, so then I realized in a moment, and I go ahead and move these guys towards the food source there. Just do a little raiding. He does have some archers coming out, but he can't have Zhugs yet. Now he can, because the song is finished, but he couldn't make Zhuganus before that song finished. And this is not looking great for me right here. But I have so much production now, and my manors are online, my first 3. And we're getting the condensed land practices now, so we can add in a few more manors. And just be really aggressive from here. We're not gonna worry about the next 3 manors. You can get those in Castle Age if you want to, or if your opponent is like fully walled off and is hiding in their base, and you just want more eco, you can go for them. But yeah, I do end up going ahead and adding those manors in right now. There we go. We got 2 more on the way here. I got a blacksmith coming in. I forgot double broadaxe this game, apparently, but I should have gone ahead and pulled the trigger on that by now, but it is what it is. And so I just pulled my army back to the abbey to heal, and this is the moment where I was like, man, why'd I build this abbey in the back? But it is what it is. Just to heal for a moment, and then I'm gonna, you know, try and poke a little bit more, because I know that even though he pushed me back with this little force, he didn't really kill a lot of my military. I didn't take terrible trades, and I know that he's booming, right? So I know that I should still have the space to be aggressive. So we're going to move back out in a second. And it's important to start getting these blacksmith upgrades in. I will get them in pretty quickly. And there's my double broadaxe, the specialized pick, and I'm building a mill so I can add in the wheelbarrow and survival techniques as well. Lots of eco upgrades, they're really important. And I'm ready to start poking again. And he actually went for like a naked 2TC into H up here. So, yeah, this game, it is like, you know, like obviously feudal aggression is going to work against this. He went naked 2TC into castle, like, Feudal Aggression is definitely really strong against this, but I do think this build is strong in a lot of situations, and it's not just like in this game that it worked out. I've been playing this build a lot. It's very strong in a lot of situations. I just wanted to show you guys this game because the execution on the actual build itself was clean. So that's why I picked this game to show you guys. But I've beaten Ottomans in Feudal with this, and Knight Civs, and yeah, I think it's a pretty strong build. And it's a fun way to play Lancaster that's not so campy. So the moment the age up comes in, I know I need to get going here. And I've already got siege engineering coming in. I will give you guys a little tip here about the order of these. I went ahead and got the siege engineering first this time because I need to start building the rams, and you can actually like just have the next upgrade coming in while you're building the rams, right? But most of the time I will go for iron undermesh, then siege engineering, and then steeled arrow. That way you get the undermesh and you get, you know, in front of your base, and if you do take some arrow fire, like you've already got that armor upgrade, and then you can build the rams as the steeled arrow is coming in. Yeah, there's the steeled arrow. So maybe I just completely forgot undermesh this game, which is quite bad. Because I am playing against China. And they could have Juganus, but they don't have many right now. Which is good for me. Because apparently I don't have the ranged armor. But anyways. We're just going to build rams here and just push into the base. And he really just doesn't have much, right? And this is also the time when you need to start splitting off some units, checking for food sources on the map. But he's not really out on the map, is he, at all, right? Like, this is the most exposed thing, so... Please tell me I remembered Iron Undermesh at some point. Please? Please? Alright, guys, don't be me. Remember your Iron Undermesh. But yeah, we're gonna get in there, man. We got our dudes of Lancaster. There's only 3 of them. I should definitely have... Where is the 4th one? Oh, he's walking up there, maybe. There he is. And we are ready to get in here, and you can see his army is tiny. And this is not like, this might look like I'm playing against a low-level player. This is like a 1400 ELO player, guys. Like, this is not a pushover. This build is just really strong. My timing was really good. And yeah, if I had waited much longer, he probably would have just destroyed my army. So you really do, you either, like, when they age up in that situation, you gotta age up or attack. But attacking felt the strongest to me because he's on 2 TC, right? So he's gonna outscale me, and you don't want to let that keep going on. But yeah, this is pretty over. And I never did get my Iron Undermesh, but it is what it is. And I could actually probably already be diving the eco, but it's hard to judge that, right? And I just didn't want to lose too many units to the TC fire, so I'm just slowly taking down the, you know, the villages, and we'll go for the landmarks, and he just really doesn't have anything to contest this anymore. He's starved on food, right? Like, I even have 2 hotbars camped over here in case he comes out for the berries or the boar or the deer. But, he really needs food right now. And this is where I kind of realized, like, dang, I really can just dive, huh? And I saw these villagers. Yeah, this is the build order, guys. I will say, you can do a lot of different things with this initial build order. So, like, if you want to just age up after a little bit of pressure, that's fine. You know, if you want to go for the White Tower or the King's College, like, you can do so many things from the initial build. But you do not have to go for, like, a feudal all-in. But I think getting these units and map presence out, like, early is a way more fun and engaging way to play Lancaster, to be active on the map, to, you know, be raiding, attacking, putting pressure. I think it's just a much more engaging way to play Lancaster than we typically have seen in tournaments and at high level ladder. And personally, I would love to see this more from even just the Lancaster players I'm playing against. It's just so predictable right now. Oh, they're gonna build the Lancaster castle. Demi Lancer's coming. And, you know, oh, they're gonna go for Imperial, and so they can spam Spearman out of the Wind Guard. And it's just very one-dimensional. So, yeah, I'm hoping that, you know, some of you guys will take this build order to heart and start using it on the ladder. But I think that's about it. Is able to end the game really easily from here, so. So, yeah. Drop any questions you got in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for hanging out, for watching this video, and I hope it gets you some ladder wins if you try this out for yourself. Yeah, this is kind of nail in the coffin too. I think he forfeits when he walks out for this and sees that I already have units here. And I decided to check over here as well, right? Because, yeah, he's got to have villagers somewhere. And yeah, that's the game. So, once again, thanks for watching, and y'all have a good day.